Let me share something important with you, especially if you're a man who's been struggling in relationships. It's something that most people don't talk about openly, but it's the quiet truth that shapes many of your emotional experiences. The reason why you're struggling with women probably isn't what you think. It's not because you're not handsome enough. It's not that you're saying the wrong things. No, the real issue runs deeper. What most men don't realize is that their confusion doesn't stem from a lack of attractiveness or social skill, but from a lack of understanding of how emotional energy works in romantic dynamics. You might be stuck, not because you lack value, but because you're trying to apply logic in a world governed by emotion. You're trying to solve emotional turbulence with rational thinking, and that's like trying to sail through a storm with a map of the stars. Think back. Maybe you've experienced this. 1 minute, a woman is fully into you. She texts first. She laughs at your jokes like you're the funniest man alive. She compliments you, tells you how amazing you are. You feel on top of the world. The chemistry feels electric. You think, finally, this is going somewhere. But then, almost as if a switch was flipped, she pulls back. Her warmth turns to distance. Her enthusiastic energy suddenly becomes muted. The way she used to look at you, gone. Her texts slow down. Her tone changes. She seems cold, disinterested, or worse, indifferent. And you're left sitting there, scratching your head, wondering, what happened? What did I do wrong? Here's the truth no one told you when you were younger, and it's something that could change the way you understand women forever. Women do not move through relationships in a straight, linear path the way most men expect. Their emotions are not static. They're not designed to follow a straight roadmap. Women live, breathe, and respond from a place of emotion, not logic. That means when a woman tells you she loves you, in that moment, she probably truly does. She's not lying, she's not being manipulative, she means it. But because emotions are fluid, shifting like tides with the moon, that feeling can fade. Not necessarily because of anything you did or didn't do. Emotions are dynamic, they evolve. So what happens is this: you're still holding on to something she said 2 weeks ago. You're playing her sweet words on repeat in your mind, assuming they are still true. Meanwhile, her emotional world has shifted, and now you're reacting to old data. You're holding her to a memory while she has moved on from that emotional space. You're trying to apply consistency to a system that is inherently inconsistent. This is where confusion takes over. You feel played, even though she never meant to mislead you. You're stuck, not because you were misled, but because you believed emotions were permanent, like facts. But emotions aren't facts, they're experiences. They come and go like waves. A woman's emotional world is a flowing river. It's not something you can anchor with a single moment. And if you, as a man, try to hold her to something she once said, without observing how her behavior aligns in the present, you end up disoriented. You get trapped in a cycle of second-guessing. This leads you to overlook the clearest indicator of her true feelings, her behavior. Words can be sweet, they can be comforting. But actions, they never lie. If she says she cares but cancels plans, takes days to respond, and seems emotionally unavailable, that is your truth. You don't need a talk. Her actions are already speaking volumes. Learn to listen to what she does, not just what she says. This is where the shift begins. When you start observing, not over-analyzing. When you start paying attention to how she shows up, rather than what she promised during a passionate moment. When you stop hoping for things to return to how they were and instead face how they are. You see, many men believe that if they just wait long enough, give her space, prove how loyal and supportive they are, she'll come back. But this often leads to the opposite outcome. Instead of attracting her back, you repel her with neediness. Emotional neediness is the opposite of attraction. When she senses that you are chasing clarity, begging for answers, or hoping to be reassured, you send the message that you are not grounded. Now, let me make something clear. When a woman begins to distance herself emotionally, it's not always something you caused. Often it's part of her internal rhythm. Her emotional shifts aren't necessarily about you. Sometimes they're simply about her feelings, her process. The worst thing you can do is try to fix it with logic, to explain, to reason, to dissect. That only makes her feel more misunderstood. Here's what most men don't understand. You can't solve emotional disconnection with words. You can't restore attraction through explanation. Attraction is a feeling. It's chemistry. It's energy. It's not built through consistency alone or by being available all the time. It's not about having the perfect response or the ideal date plan. Attraction grows when there's polarity, tension, mystery, emotional presence, a sense of strength, not just in your body, but in your heart and mind. Here's a truth that might sting a little. A woman can lose interest even if you're doing everything right. You could be showing up, being kind, listening, texting good morning and good night. You could be emotionally available and respectful, and still she might drift. Not because you're not enough, but because the emotional charge isn't there anymore. She doesn't need another nice guy. She needs to feel something, a spark, a challenge, a pull. And when that spark fades, most men panic. They try harder, they increase their effort, they start texting more, they begin over-communicating. But ironically, this only pushes her away further. Why? Because the energy has flipped. Now you're the pursuer, and she becomes the one creating distance. This is where your power comes in. And your power is in your presence, not your pursuit. Pull your energy back. Not to play games, not to manipulate, but because you honor yourself. Because you respect your emotional bandwidth. Because you refuse to invest in someone who isn't investing in you. Often, when a woman starts acting distant or erratic, it's a subtle test. She wants to see if you can stay grounded while she explores emotional waves. She wants to feel that you can hold space without needing control. If you fail this test, if you react, become desperate, blow up her phone, or demand answers, she doesn't feel safe anymore. She loses respect. And not because you're a bad person, but because she sees that you can't hold emotional pressure. She sees that you're swayed by her moods, not rooted in your own center. What women are truly drawn to is a man with emotional composure. The kind of strength that says, I'm okay whether you choose me or not. I don't need you to validate my worth. That strength isn't arrogant. It's calm, steady, secure. That's what makes you magnetic. Because when you stop reacting to every emotional fluctuation she has, you stop being predictable. You become intriguing. You become a challenge in the best way. And attraction needs challenge to stay alive. There is a reason why too much availability kills mystery. If she can predict your every move, if you're always waiting for her call, always replying in seconds, always showing her your whole hand, there's no emotional edge left. That doesn't mean you should play games, but it does mean you should live your life, prioritize your mission, maintain your standards. You can love her, invite her in, but you don't build your entire sense of identity around her presence. If she steps back, you step back too, not to punish, but because you respect yourself. The emotional shifts she goes through, most of them aren't personal, and trying to make sense of them will only drain you. Your job isn't to stabilize her, your job is to stabilize you. That's the masculine role, that's the energy women are drawn to. A rock in the ocean, a calm force in the middle of emotional storms. When you stop demanding clarity from someone who has already shown they can't offer it, you become free. You free your mind, your heart, and your energy. You see that closure isn't always given, sometimes it's chosen. And you choose it when you decide to stop trying to decode someone who's already given you their answer through action, not words. Because the right woman, the one truly aligned with you, won't make you feel uncertain all the time. She might have her moments of doubt, sure, but overall, her presence will feel consistent. You won't have to guess. You won't need to analyze her messages. You won't be left in emotional limbo. You'll just know. And that's when everything changes. Because the more we understand each other, the more love stops being confusing and starts becoming real,